Question goes tonight. Swapan Das Gupta and Shabnam Hashmi. I'm coming in. 1 minute. 1 minute, gentlemen. 1 minute. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 minute. Answer the question here. What if tomorrow, if there's 20% development in Gujarat, can it diminish the sense of outrage and injustice that most riot victims still feel? In that context, as a politically astute man, 1 minute, why doesn't Narendra Modi come and say, I am really sorry for what happened? And I take response. Does it mean he will not get a certain vote? Does it mean Yatin Oza that he won't get a certain vote, so he won't say it in election here?
You're right.
There is one minute. Swapan Das Gupta. Swapan Das Gupta. Yeah, Swapan Das Gupta.
There is no connection between 20% riots, 20% growth and justice. There is no connection between the two. But there is a connection between 20% growth and the inclination to riot, the social conditions which make it possible for riot.
Yeah, but Narendra
social conditions have been undercut today.
Yeah, but Narendra Modi is a man who wants to be PM.
Apology is concerned.
1 second.
Apology is concerned. Narendra Modi's apology is concerned. Let us be strict.
You are just not informed. I have already told you 2000.
Now everybody is hijacking.
Ms. Hashmi,
everybody is hijacking.
Just the brigade of ambulance chasers who've developed a cottage industry out of rioting. You have developed a cottage industry out of rioting.
Now you see what is clear. What is clear to me? What is clear to me? What is clear to me? 1 minute.
Now I need 1 minute.
1 minute, Mr. Oza.
I need 1 minute.
Mr. Oza, the question is simple tonight. 1 minute. Question is tonight is this.
May I come in for a moment?
There is a I'm coming to you right after Yatin Oza, Manish Tiwari. So just coming to you right. The question is, Yatin Oza, answer the question. There is a perceptional problem Narendra Modi has. I mean, he can go around, flogging all his development indices and he can get all the supporting. But there's a perception. Why doesn't he simply get over the perceptional problem unless it's become an ego issue? Versus today, the activist versus Narendra Modi.
There is absolutely no ego problem with him. He is a person down to earth and do not hesitate to accept his mistakes, is my experience. Let us forget all this discussion for a moment. Let us come to the ground reality.
1 minute.
1 minute, please.
Let him complete. Yeah.
Very well, it may be a joke to you.
Okay, complete your point, please, quickly. Please complete.
Let us come to the ground. 1 minute. Let us come to the ground reality. Never ever in history of Ahmedabad, there were certain areas where Hindus used to go or move around freely. There were never ever Muslims who used to come to certain areas. They would never think of coming to those areas either or. Today they are freely moving in those areas. That itself shows the acceptability of Mr. Modi, one, and that accepting ghosts to be kept alive by vested interest, who have one aim to rope in Mr. Modi and defame Gujarat and stall the development of Gujarat, that people like Shabnam, that people like
Last month somebody tried
that you cannot, that is everywhere in the country. The one solitary case you can't move on, you can't just show it to the people. That happens everywhere in the country. One solitary case you are just
can go to a school in the Hindu area. All the Muslim children after 2002 were asked
was it ever possible in 1985? There is a school besides my house. More than 25% Muslim students are studying there.
So,
let us now
what's the big deal? Why are you looking at everything with the Hindu-Muslim prism?
And no,
Mr. Oza,
let us come out of this Hindu-Muslim. Let us be Indian first.
What are you talking about?
Let us work for India, development of India. Don't keep this ghost of Hindu-Muslims alive. It may serve your selfish purpose. It is doing great damage to the society.
I want the question.
Unity and integrity.
I want the question. My question to Manish Tiwari. Manish Tiwari.
Report of the Supreme Court.
Okay, Manish Tiwari. Shabnam Hashmi, 1 minute.
Report of the Supreme Court on the PDS.
Shabnam Hashmi, 1 minute. 1 minute. Shabnam Hashmi, 1 minute.
Commissioner's report on right to food.
Shabnam Hashmi, my request to you, ma'am.
What development?
Yeah,
when people are hungry.
No.
There are thousands of...
Shabnam
You won't be enemies of Gujarat. You have a hidden agenda to be the enemies of Gujarat.
Okay, now here's a question to Manish Tiwari.
Out to see that Gujarat is damaged.
I don't know what this is.
Progress.
I am asking Manish Tiwari. I have a bad throat. I am asking Manish Tiwari.
If Gujarat has become a separate country, please tell me. I will stop coming to Gujarat.
I am asking Manish Tiwari.
My agenda is open to fight for
Even otherwise you are an unwanted guest.
To fight for secularism.
Nothing personal on the show, please, tonight. Nothing personal on the show, please, Yatin Oza and Shabnam Hashmi. 1 minute. My question to Manish Tiwari is, Manish Tiwari address a bigger issue. What I think Yatin Oza said, that even if he says sorry, it will invite a subsequent political backlash. I remember, I think in his speech at the inauguration of the Sadbhavna mission, he expressed his pain for people who suffered tragedies during the riots, a pain he says he feels even now. Now, even if he wishes to apologize, his supporters say he apologizes, there'll be a bigger backlash against him. You think so? Will you let him off if he apologizes and say, okay, now let's move on?
May I, Arnab, just make 3 points? First of all, this very non-existent link between development and rights, which Swapan Das Gupta was trying to draw, that gets demolished by the fact that England is a developed country. Why were there riots in London and other parts of England last year? So therefore, if development removes all the causes for a riot, then there should not be a riot in any part of the world which is developed. Now, answering your specific question, there are 2 issues out there. First is the issue of justice. I think as long as the state of Gujarat and its instrumentalities keep aiding the aggressors, rather than helping the victims, I don't think that anybody is going to let the government of Gujarat or people whose watch this happened on off the hook. And number 3, I think there is a certain level of magnanimity involved. There is a certain sense of moral responsibility which a political leader must take.
Will you close the case if he does?
Whether there's a
I am asking you as a responsible Congress spokesman. I am asking you tonight, if the BJP asks you, if with an expression of remorse, will you please let Mr. Narendra Modi and the issue move on? Will you say yes, or will you then magnify it further? Please answer that question. Don't avoid that question, Manish.
The simple answer to that is that if at all, the simple answer to that question, Arnab, is that if the Gujarat Chief Minister or the Bharatiya Janata Party would have had an iota of morality in it, they would have done it.
Okay.
So then comes the question of us demonstrating magnanimity. Let's not put the cart before the horse.
Last 30 seconds of the debate. Siddharth, response to you, Manish. Here the BJP response.
And this is without prejudice. And this is without prejudice to the entire question of the criminal justice system.
I am actually putting this question.
Having its way and seeing that the victims get justice and those people who are aggressors are punished.
Siddharth response. Finally, very quick word. Siddharth, yes.
Arnab, Congress will not relent or they will not stop demonizing, denigrating or witch hunting politically Mr. Modi. They will recycle and keep recycling all the allegations which have been unproven, and they will remain unproven. Now, the biggest accusation was the inaction of Modi government and Modi during the riots. Nothing has been proved, and therefore they will keep finding and they will keep fabricating through their activist NGOs of affidavits coming up, trying to implicate some unwanted or bureaucrat and trying to play through it. So there will be a campaign.
Are you calling Sanjeev Bhatt? Are you calling Sanjeev Bhatt a congressman? Are you calling Sanjeev Bhatt a congressman? Are you calling Sanjeev Bhatt a congress plant? He's right here with me tonight. Are you saying he's a congress plant?
No.
If you are saying so,
certainly there has been there has been a link of Mr. Sanjeev Bhatt going to the president of Gujarat PCC. There has been a link of certain activists talking to certain journalists. There have been recorded statements which have been available now in the public.
So you're saying he's a Congress plant?
There have been activists who have approached certain English channels and they tried to say we can be friends and let's go and talk to certain
are you saying he's a Congress plant?
People about it and demolish it.
Are you saying he's a Congress plant?
Well, I'm not saying. There has been a conspiracy behind political conspiracy to demolish.
No, he's here. The man is here. He'll answer you.
Government by many people. because you cannot fight him
two questions
politically
tonight.
through elections.
Two questions.
So
Opening
you
up
go
to two
through a
questions to the
political
viewers
campaign.
tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, going over time, opening up to two questions tonight. Do you think there's a link between development and growth? Do you think Mr. Sanjeev Bhatt is being planted by Narendra Modi's detractors? Sanjeev Bhatt has the right to respond, please. Yes. Yes, please. Quickly, you can
First
respond
of all,
directly.
I would say that by saying that if Narendra Modi says sorry, then we're trivializing the issue, number one.
Are you a
This
Congress
is a question.
plant? Are you an opposition? I'm putting it
I
straightforward.
don't even need to respond to that question.
It's
That
being put
shows
there. It's being put
that
there.
shows the level of pettiness to which they can stoop to. That shows the level of thought. My only thing is that saying sorry cannot suffice. This is a question of delivering justice to the people who have been victimized. And the question is, can economic growth prevail over individual rights and justice? That is the question to be answered.
To my guest, Swapan Dasgupta, who sparked up an interesting debate. Swapan, Manish, I'm running over time, but yes, I give you. I see two hands raised, Manish Tiwari and Swapan Dasgupta. To Manish Tiwari first and Swapan Dasgupta has the last word tonight. Manish.
10 years down the line, Arnab, the arguments which come out of the Bharatiya Janata Party and the apologists for the Gujarat government, they would make us believe as if the Gujarat riots never took place. They want us to believe that as a people.
But Narendra Modi says
they want us to believe that there was no inaction on behalf of the state and everything should be forgotten.
But Narendra Modi says
things should be hunky dory. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen.
Okay, fine.
This fight for justice, this fight for the victims of Gujarat is not going to stop till justice is done and justice is delivered.
Okay, go on. One sec. Swapan Dasgupta wanted the last word tonight.
Justice will not be money. What you all expected.
Swapan Dasgupta, last word.
We would have thought. I think that 10 years after this unfortunate riots took place from Godhra and its aftermath, we would have thought that this was a time for certain reflection, contemplation. But unfortunately, what has been happening is that the systematic vilification of an entire people seems to have continued unabated. And from that to the extension of it to reduce the entire culpability of the riots to one individual seems to have been. And lastly, I think that what has been happening is that this form of activism over riots has been made into a thriving cottage industry. Where the people of Gujarat are not being allowed to forget, not being allowed to forgive, and the horrors of it are being constantly negated. This is the whole point.
Reflection cannot be premised on deniability. Swapan, reflection cannot be premised on deniability. As long as deniability continues, there cannot be reflection or introspection.
To my guest tonight. To my guest tonight,
till the time there's such deniability,
I put a question.
There is a
I put a question to news our viewers.
To see the truth, you want to bury your hand in the sand.
I put a question.
And pretend that things didn't happen. That cannot be the basis for reflection or moving on.
Two questions to news our viewers.
Manish, you know that things happened, but you know that things didn't happen in the way you wanted it to be.
Two questions to news our viewers tonight. Please allow me to complete this debate. Gentlemen, this debate is really getting heated up. But the question is tonight, is there a link between development and riots? Do you believe there is? Swapan Dasgupta believes at the very deep level there is. Activists believe there absolutely isn't. Secondly, do you think Narendra Modi should express remorse? Do you think if he expresses remorse, the Congress party should let this be? Many questions tonight. Does finger pointing help? Thank you for joining me on News Hour Debate 1 tonight.